Are you looking for card making ideas? Why don't you take this and turn it into this? Today is, I can't remember which day in my series of changing this to this, taking a card idea from 2025, one of my favorite designs, and changing it up using some new products from the upcoming January to April mini catalog, as well as the new online exclusives. Hi everyone, Marianne Cowan here from Pinery Paper Crafts, and today I'm going to show you two cards that I'm going to recreate using some beautiful new paper from the upcoming mini catalog. So let me just go over to my desk, which is right here. So the catalog comes live to customers on January 6th. And I do believe I read today that Stampin' Up is going to be offering coupons again with every certain amount that you purchase. And you can earn those all through January, beginning the 6th, I believe, or the 5th, when the new catalog goes live, and then redeem them in February for product. So awesome. So we've been working on cards for the last few days, and we're taking one card idea and changing it. So let's just review what we've done. So I took this one, a design I did last year, and changed it into this one using the Lovely Blossoms Designer Series paper. The next one is Painterly Pears that I made last year. And I loved how the circles nested on top of each other. And then I changed it to Easter Joy. So this paper is called Easter Joy, coming up in the new catalog. Then I took this Christmas one using the frames that I'll think of the name in a second. And we changed from the Traditions of Christmas paper to, again, Lovely Blossoms. And I designed two. And I used different colors. I used green and I used cloud cover because I wasn't sure which one I liked better. I still don't really know which one I like better. So that is branching out dies. That's what those are called. I knew I would remember. This was from the birthday paper from last year. I did a whole class on this. And then we changed it to Cute as a Bug. Such a suite of products. And then Lovely Blossoms again. Lovely Blossoms has a really unique palette of colors with it. And then the ones we did yesterday, I took this one that we had done. I loved this vellum, and it had 3 different types of vellum, so I used 2 of them to create this card. And then we recreated it yesterday with Delicate Pines, so a New Year's card. So Delicate Pines actually was available last year, but it's carrying over, so I'm happy about that because it's beautiful. So I did emboss this with the 3D snowflake embossing folder, which is retired, but a lot of you probably have it. And then this is a new one that I'm going to show you again today. And then I also did an envelope with that one. And then we did this one using the really cute Love Notes paper. And I did go back and add, remember I showed you these little loose Valentine's Day assortment that I said were really small, but I did use my Take a Pick tool and added one here and a couple here. And I did go in and add this little piece on this panel. Super cute card. I really like that one. So today we're going to be making 2 different ones. And this is the design for the first one. And I've already made it using this paper. But I'm going to recreate a different one today. And then we're going to take this one and recreate it as well. So the paper is called Lovely and Beautiful. And I'm going to show it to you. I do have a little sampler where you can kind of see the palette, but it doesn't really give you an idea about how big the images are. And at first I thought that was going to be a bit problematic, but you just have to think about how you're designing your cards. So here is one piece. Let's flip this over. It's going to be too shiny. Here is one piece. And then the other side, beautiful petal pink. Here's one with golds. And I will show you a sneak peek of ones I've designed for an upcoming class. And then beautiful florals. I really like the back sides too, but putting glue on these gold elements is really hard. Cute little purple tiny flowers. Beautiful green. But see how large these images are? So it's like, whoa, you'd have to be really strategic. But I think I've managed to come up with some card ideas. Oh, I might have shown you that one already. That make it work, including the one I just showed you. And there's a nice fresh freesia is in a lot of the papers I find in this catalog. Huge. And Calypso coral. But you can see with this one, that is one of those really big flowers, but you just make sure that it's the focal point of your card, and then you can't go wrong. So let's make this one first with the arches, the everyday arches, and I'll show you how I decided to make two at the same time so I could really use my paper efficiently. Okay. Hello, whoever's watching, leave me a message so I can see you. I can see you. So to get this Everyday Arches card, you use the largest die of the Everyday Arches, and you fold your card, and then you lay the die so that it's hanging over the edge, because you don't want this to cut. I've shown this in another video that you might have seen. Now I do put a little sticky note to keep it in place, because if it cuts, it kind of ruins the whole idea of your card. So we have that die, which I'll put here so I don't lose it. So now we have our base. And I was originally just going to make one more card like this, and I thought, well, I don't want to waste all that gold. So I did the second largest in the gold, and then the third largest, I think, in the gold again. So I die cut these at the same time. And we're going to save this one for the second card because it fits this one. So that's going to be for that card. So for this card, we're going to layer all these up. Now, another coordinating product that goes with the lovely and beautiful paper is this ephemera pack called Beautifully Adorned. So it's all vellum and gold. And the elements are really, really pretty. It's also good for scrapbooking if you have pictures that you want to put a frame around. And the sentiments in this is a double stamp set. There's two sets of stamps and 2 dies if you bought the whole suite together. And it has a lot of congratulations, wishing you all the best. So a lot of anniversary and wedding sentiments. So in this pack, there are 3 different designs and 2 of each. I'm trying to show you without them all popping out. You can see I've used some of them. So really handy, but I find you do have to heat emboss on it unless you use StazOn. So that's the ephemera pack. So let's go ahead and start putting our card together. I did pull out some things from the ephemera pack and then some other things that we're going to use. Is anyone in the craft room today? It's cold here in Ottawa. Again, it'll be cold now for a while. I am a big gardener, but by this time of the year, I'm kind of happy to not be weeding and to be playing in my craft room, to be honest. Now I'm just going to give it a good rub. I like to do this on this side so that I'm not getting glue on the gold foil, because this glue does kind of stain, is that the right word? It does show up on the gold foil. Even though this glue dries clear, you can still see it on the gold foil. Okay, so we'll add this one. You don't want to be wiggling it around too much because you get glue where you don't want it. So we have that. And for this one, I did this little banner that says celebrate. Now, I'm not sure I want it that long. Maybe I do. And then I have this one leaf from the ephemera pack. And then this leaf die is from the Delicate Pines. I've used this one so many times, I cannot even tell you. And then I did some in vellum because we've got vellum there. I think that would be pretty. And they do have little holes that you can do a little bow. And I meant to bring over some gold ribbon. There is a ribbon that goes with this suite that I probably have somewhere. So I'm putting glue on the sentiment so it's not going to show through. And then I'm probably just going to leave it long. I was going to trim it off here. That's why I did the celebrate so close over there. But I'm kind of changing my mind. Now, when you put these on, you want to put them on backwards so that you're building from the back. And again, these little leaves have the little slits in them, so you can make them look 3D by just taking them and folding them like that. Remembering that when you put them in the envelope, they're just going to go flat again. All right, I'll just put a little bit of glue on this, and you have to be not generous with the glue because it does go through those little slits. And I like to have my leaves kind of sticking up a little bit. I'm going to take the glue off of that one. And I'll fold it like I did the other one. There we go. And then our one other one from the ephemera pack. There we go. I feel like it needs a bow. Now it's going to bother me that it doesn't have a bow. So there we have our card. Why can't I open it? Oh, I haven't opened it yet. So there we have our card. You can see how, because I put the die off to the edge, it did not cut through. All right, it definitely needs a bow. Let me just find some gold twine of some kind. All right, I don't know, this is probably not still available, but everybody has gold in their stash from leftover from other projects and sweets, especially right after Christmas. Although I found there wasn't a lot of gold ribbon this year. I do like to add gold, or maybe there was and I just did not notice. All right. Okie dokie. Let's see if we can get that. And we'll add it with the glue dot. It's going to go off the edge of the card, but that's okay. It'll tuck in when it goes in the envelope. Hopefully. There. Okay, I like that. Celebrate. So I definitely should have put celebrate over a little bit further, but hey, I think it looks fine. All right, so that's the first card. And the second one is, so here's the other one that I did. I could add a bow there. And this is the Christmas one I did. And I actually did another one using this paper, but I must have given it to somebody because I couldn't find it. I do that on occasion. Remember to send my cards, not just make my cards. Is anyone else guilty of that? Okay, next one. Now I will tell you, I don't think I've ever put these two colors together. We have Calypso Coral and Flirty Flamingo. But when I looked at the colors on the paper, which if you look at it, gotta say, I think it's Calypso Coral and Flirty Flamingo. So I decided to put it together. Now, this is embossed using a new embossing folder called Beautiful Pattern Embossing Folder, and it is beautiful. I'm going to use this one a lot, I know, because it's just a nice subtle background one. And these are the everyday arches that I hope everybody has in their collection. They were on back order for a little while, but they're definitely available now. And the sentiments, yesterday I talked about this because it was in the card I used yesterday or the day before. Reason to Celebrate, amazing set. I did it on a birthday one. I don't know if it was yesterday, but so today I'm using Another Wonderful Year. And then this is the Endless Love stamp set that goes with that paper. And the other sentiment I just showed you is Celebrate. Banner Saints, must have. It's got a banner, a triple punch banner that has 3 different banners in it where you can cut out all of those sentiments. So let's put this on here. Like I said, I've never, ever done this combination before. Has anyone else done this combination before? But when it works, it works. So now I probably should have cut some leaves out of here, but I used leaves I already had cut out. So let's just pop this one on here. And we're going to pop this up with dimensionals. This is a very simple card. It was one of my favorite Christmas cards, though, I will say. It was that Traditions of Christmas paper. This one piece, I wish I could have just bought a whole pack of it. I loved it so much. So let's pop this on, and then we'll add some leaves, and I'll show you the sentiment. So we'll center that. You could put more layers if you want, but I really wanted to showcase and pull out the colors in the paper as well. So this is from the ephemera pack, and it's cute, but I really don't want it to be a tag. So I'm just going to take it and cut it. Sometimes we forget that we can adjust things to make them the way we want. I like that a lot better. And it fits in because there's nothing really here on the paper. And then I'm going to use 2 gold leaves and 1 vellum one. I'm going to do a little folding first because that'll help me determine where I want to put them. There we go. I can't tell you how much I've used this one particular die. Now that beautiful new die in the, I'm going to put this one at the back flat. Nature's Symphony. It's large, but you can cut it down into bite-sized pieces, let's say. Now that I'm looking at it, I'm thinking maybe that's a bit too much. Wonder if we could put one this way. No, I don't really like that because it shows up under the vellum. But hey, let's just do it. Okay, so I want it to go about there. I'm looking at that spot, trying to remember. I know you could go and mark it or something, but I'm not that type of crafter. Let me just check. That's good. So this one's going flat. Then vellum is going flat at the bottom. And then I have the other ones bent up a little bit. Sometimes with this glue, you really do have to give it a second to do its job. And then I'm just going to put glue on these bottom 3. maybe a little bit on the stem. And then this is going to go here. Now I'm hoping that I have so much going on, you're not going to be able to see it all through the vellum. But it is what it is. And I'm going to put it down a little bit because I think I'm going to try to add a bow there. So I'm going to do the same thing, put glue where the words are. Not exactly, but, and the frame. I think that should work. So I'm going to put it down maybe a little bit lower than I thought I was going to. It would be nice to pop it up, but you would definitely be seeing all that through. Let's take some more of this twine. I don't even know. I can't even tell you where this twine is from or what it's called because it doesn't have a name. But I'm sure you have something gold in your stash. I am running out of gold though. All right, that looks good. These scissors are definitely not sharp. All right, I think this bow is going to look perfect. And I will spread it out so that it's not over top of the sentiment. All right. So I think Flirty Flamingo and Calypso Coral, I think they go together. If you'd asked me that a while ago, I would have said you're crazy. But I think it works in this case. Maybe it won't work for everything. All right, so today's cards we have from this to this. And from this to these. Wondering if we can see them all. Yeah, we can. All right, do you have a favorite? I don't know. You know what? I think I like this one the best. Probably put a little glue dot right there. I don't know though. I really do like the one with the arches as well. But let me know if you have a favorite in the comments. And then I'll give you a little sneak peek of the lovely and beautiful cards I've designed for an upcoming class, which will be probably a little later in the catalog period. So here, see there's that big, huge flower, the ephemera, and the banner punch. And then this is that gold piece that at first I thought, oh, what am I going to use for that? But works perfect there. There's that cute little purple. Fresh Freesia is the color, and I did have some leftover ribbon. And then just a simple thinking of you, again, using those big, huge flowers. So you're just getting a sneak peek because that will be available in an upcoming class. But the classes I have coming up now are the season sampler, which you'll be making 11 cards, and you'll get a sample of all the new papers, ribbons, and embellishments. That's a great deal. And a lot of times you get a product share, but you don't always get a card to make with it. So you're going to get a card to make with each of the papers and not using your paper. I'll have it already pre-cut for you. So that one's coming up as well as the virtual winter retreat. And that will be virtual online on January 31st, but it will ship out by the 24th. So everybody will have it in time. So all the information is on my blog, mariannecowan.com/events. Thanks for watching. I do appreciate it if you like and share my video. If you're watching the replay on YouTube, I invite you to subscribe to my channel and hit that notification button so that you will know every time I post a new video. Thanks everyone, and I hope you get to spend some time in your craft room. Have a great day.